This video is sponsored by Squarespace. We'll get back to the selling out later. For now, on with the video. So Sam, you mentioned earlier that The Witcher 3 is actually your favorite game, and I mean, you mentioned that a few people are actually surprised to hear that, and I was just wondering, like, what's one or two of your favorite moments from The Witcher 3?
Oh, well, look, I don't really want to get into that. You know, it's very personal for me. I just, you know, I really like The Witcher. I think it's a great game, and I don't really want to get into it. It's very personal.
So you don't want to mention, like, one...
No, I don't want to get into it. Look, honestly, I just, you know, I think it's great. I think The Witcher's great. It's very personal to me, but I don't really want to get into it personally.
Are you a Witcher 1, 2 guy, or are you like a Witcher 3 guy, you think?
I like them all, to be honest. I think they're all great. You know, I think that, you know, I got, you know, my two favorite games. You know, it's The Witcher and it's Anthem. You know, but I always say that Anthem is my second favorite game and Witcher's my number one game. Right. But I don't really want to get into specifics, to be honest.
All right. So obviously Sam has played The Witcher.
Yes.
And we really believe that he's a Witcher guy at heart. I fully believe it.
I have played about an hour and a half of The Witcher. I killed the Griffin, okay? So I thought I am a person to talk about The Witcher today.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
I know just what to do with you.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Obviously, most of you out there, you proper real gamers, you've actually played The Witcherino.
Yes.
God bless you. And
I'm gonna finish it on Switcher, okay? Switcher is gonna be my boy. Don't worry.
Playing The Witcher 3 for the first time, guys. Hit F in the comment section, please.
I've already played it.
Playing it for the first time on Switch. That's a massive F in the chat.
Anyway.
Obviously, The Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games ever made. I don't believe many people would disagree. You might not like The Witcher, but you can't not respect it. Its contribution to gaming has been huge, not just because it's a great game, but also because it really sort of, like, I think set the tone for this generation. Or at least set it in contrast, because I think we've seen a generation, you know, in the last few years that has focused so much on monetization, so much on DLC bullshit, so much on shortchanging the consumer, and during this time we've had the rise of CD Projekt Red, who have stood, like, steadfastly against all of that and delivered one of the most consumer-friendly products in the history of video games.
In still a time where a lot of microtransaction, you know, trends were happening, you know, the Wilson Lootbox was already happening in 2013 or around that time. This came out in 2015, it won Game of the Year of 2015. It definitely was part of a trend that certainly could have jumped on that bandwagon, but didn't.
You cannot judge me. I am justice itself. We were meant for more than this. To protect the innocent. Then I will no longer stand as your brother.
You chose to be one of us.
Sacrilege.
Amazing game, CD Projekt Red, their humble beginnings as well. Remember
Yes,
this
look at this
screenshot?
photo, everybody. Okay.
This is them at E3 many
There's
years
also
ago.
a Polish embassy photo. I don't know. We've got it now.
Someone
Hopefully we can
recently
see it.
put up a sign outside a Polish embassy just saying thanks for The Witcher 3, and the Polish embassy like retweeted this. They're like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? So obviously this
The only
game...
contribution from Poland, everybody.
Jesus, don't
Joking. Just joking.
So look, obviously The Witcher, incredible game. Have you not tried their dumplings? Polish dumplings?
No. Oh, look at Ralph going into bat for Poland. I'm sure they've got plenty of things, guys.
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
Obviously, incredible game. Now, when The Witcher 3 wrapped up its DLC development cycle, CD Projekt Red said, look, this is on ice now. We don't know where it's going to go next. For now, we have no plans to develop The Witcher 4. We're focused on other things. Obviously, they were talking about Cyberpunk, but that detail would come later. But it was a case of, that's it for now for The Witcher. We're parking it. We're moving on to other stuff. Full stop, okay?
Yes.
Everyone was obviously, I think, actually pretty understanding of that decision.
Sure.
Because they're like, look, you guys have done a good day's work here. If
Multiple
you want to work,
DLCs.
correct. If you want to work on other stuff, we really support that. Cyberpunk announcement came out. Everyone was super excited for that. That game is obviously looking incredible by every single metric. And we thought, okay, cool. That's what CD Projekt Red is working on right now. They're working on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That's it.
And look, the whole Cyberpunk thing has just completely taken gaming by storm. Everyone is just dying for this game. I can understand why. They need every single bit of manpower on this game. Now,
Sure.
we recently went to E3, we saw some hands-on, we didn't see some hands-on, we saw some gameplay footage. Now, a lot of it has now come out at Gamescom, about a 15-minute segment. You've seen a bit of it, and it looked sensational, everybody, okay? Now, you saw that photo of Mike Tyson also got an opportunity at E3 to have a look at it too.
What do you think of Cyberpunk 2077?
I think Cyberpunk 2077 looks sensational. I can't wait for it.
Then there was the Keanu Reeves moment, okay? So it's a celebrity affair everywhere you look with CD Projekt Red. So everyone is extremely hyped for it.
But it looks like CD Projekt Red are actually thinking beyond Cyberpunk at this point. And this news, it was surprisingly buried within a recent earnings call, but it actually is it's a massive story, okay? Because what they've essentially done here is confirm The Witcher 4, or at least confirm that we're going to have another Witcher game pretty soon, sort of ish, or at least sometime in their development cycle.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about some of the content of the earnings call, specifically about The Witcher 3 and how it's still selling out the fucking ass.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what the quote said. The publisher sold more copies of The Witcher 3 in the first half of 2019 than the same time frame in 2018. That's absolute insanity.
Crazy.
And it's presumably set to continue that performance when the game launches on Switch later this year. This article, by the way, comes courtesy of Twinfinite. We'll leave a link in the description below.
If I remember, no.
So yeah, man, CD Projekt Red, Witcher 3, sells out the ass. Who'd have thought?
How many games that got released in 2015 or years ago at least continue to outsell previous years?
Correct.
I mean, look, sure, it didn't outsell 2015, whatever, but it just shows that, you know, the word has spread. It's a fantastic game. 2018 to 2019, more and more people are jumping on this.
The article continues, CD Projekt Red's overall revenue increased 28% in H1, which is their financial quarter, which meant that the net profit hasn't slipped despite rising Cyberpunk development costs. Speaking in a summary report, CFO Peter Nielubowitz...
Are you sure that's even Peter?
Yeah, that's like the
Piotr.
anglicization of Peter.
Oh, is it?
No, wait, of Poiter.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, he says, our financial results for the first half of the year, again, was mainly affected by the sales of The Witcher 3, which remains strong. This further confirms our belief that investing in top quality games pays off.
What a quote.
That is
so
a beautiful
true.
quote. We should frame that and send that to Andrew Wilson.
We should send that to EA.
EA Games.
Ruin everything.
And Bethesda, okay?
And 2K.
And everyone.
And who am I missing?
Activision.
Activision.
Yeah, Blizzard.
Just all of those. Yeah, we just all that. Just
Everyone,
send them
really.
all.
One small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as
Surprise mechanics.
Send in the clown.
But look, I mean, it's a beautiful quote because it's so true. You know, this whole idea of like monetization must be pumped into a game to make sure that it, you know, that we can sustain a company. Like, let's face it, CD Projekt Red is the largest indie developer, I would say. That
Bungie.
Bungie is fine, but this is pretty close in terms of how big it is. I mean, they're able to sustain themselves not on crappy monetization models, but purely on quality. And like, the amount of money they're going to be making from Cyberpunk 2077 will further just, you know, double down on this.
Sure.
I can't wait for it.
So here's where it gets to the really juicy part, and this quote's a bit dense, so we're gonna go through it bit by bit. Bear with me, okay? CD Projekt Red outlines its attempt to adopt a dual franchise model in our report summary. The company believes that maintaining the observed growth dynamics and expansion of its activity profile will depend on further enhancement of its world-class video game development skill set and on maintaining effective communication channels with the global gaming community.
Yeah.
Was that English?
I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not sure what that means.
But I know it's good because CD Projekt Red said it.
Exactly right. Right.
The main winding was of the normal Lotus-O deltoid type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator.
I know.
They go on there to actually say real words, okay? Managing two separate major franchises, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, along with several independent development teams, enables the company to conduct parallel on several projects and smoothens its long-term release schedule. The migration towards a dual franchise model supported by several independent product lines also permits optimization of manufacturing and financial activities, mitigates important risk factors, and makes it easier for company employees to seek personal fulfillment. So look, it is possible when you read this to think, okay, just because they're working on dual franchises doesn't necessarily mean they're making a Witcher 4 game and a Cyberpunk game, but it kind of does though. The only other active Witcher thing they've got going right now is Gwent. They also have Thronebreaker, which was a one-off standalone sort of Gwent spin-off.
Sure.
This game is just getting a mobile port right now. It's obviously not going gangbusters. It's it's surely not going to be the focus for this studio as it announces it's moving to a dual franchise development model. Clearly, they're talking about here the fact that they're going to be making another Witcher game.
And look, they did say they have multiple studios also.
They
They did say at the moment that I think all of them are working on on Cyberpunk 2077, but it shows that they do have the scope to try and potentially break those up and do two different things.
Yeah.
I agree with you now. It's Witcher 3 is probably like the strongest IP I can think of at the moment in gaming. Some people might get triggered by that, but in terms of just like the goodwill it has with the community, that'd be foolish not to continue that and make new IP for that.
I agree. And I think as well, don't forget, we've got a Witcher TV show coming out right now.
True.
And that's going to be season 1. Hopefully it'll lead to season 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And at which point you've got, 4 or 5 years time to develop another Witcher game.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I think as well, the fact they talk about smoothing out their release cadence, they talk about the personal fulfillment of their staff. I think that they are clearly gearing up to a model that involves developing big games for Cyberpunk and also big games for the Witcher world. And I think that means some sort of Witcher 4-esque
But we
title.
don't know what that is. It could be a different type of Witcher. It could be one around Ciri. Okay?
Could be.
Potentially.
Do you
Okay?
reckon they'll have a gender checkbox?
Yes, so who knows? We will have to see though. It might not be called The Witcher, it might be called The Witch Him. You never know.
Oh god.
Do you come with a car?
Listen, friend. There's an enormous difference between us, but it's not about status.
But look, it's a legitimate question. Like, we don't necessarily know that The Witcher 4, or whatever it's called, will be a game with Geralt in it. They could go in a completely different direction. It might not even be a single-player RPG. Maybe it will be an MMO. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but I would play an MMO set in the Witcher's world. Like, I would. Do you know what I mean?
Or it could be another
sounds
Cyberpunk,
cool.
Cyberpunk 3069.
Oh, God. Please, why? Your standards have
You
really
never
dropped
know.
ledly, Sam.
You don't know, guys.
So
we
look,
don't know.
I think it would be obviously safe to assume that it's going to be another single-player focused RPG, because that's their bread and butter.
And we're not going to see it for the next 4 or 5 years at least.
Correct.
I mean,
It's going to be a long ways off.
I mean, let's face it, they're not going to use the previous assets from Witcher 3 or something. It's going to be on the new, probably on the next gen consoles. It's going to be a whole other thing to do. I mean, it's going to be early 2020s, I think. Personally.
I think 23, 22, 23 kind of thing is what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're still alive then. That'll be sick.
That'll be good, On top of that, there's going to be a DLC for Cyberpunk. There's going to be the multiplayer aspect. There's a lot of things that they want to be doing on top of that. I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that, they're looking to add to the CD Projekt Red portfolio, everybody.
Portfolio, nice words.
Yeah, I thought so.
Anyway, guys,
that's not even a big word. What are you talking about?
I'm sure.
Ralph thinks that's a big word for me, everybody. God damn it.
I'm sure the chat agrees, don't worry. So look, I think that this is obviously massive news. I'm sure we're going to see this covered more and more over the next few days as people realize what's been said.
Yeah.
And like, gonna go,
Laymen drops the news.
Laymen are here first, ladies and gentlemen. You remember, we had your back first, fam.
This is going to age really well if Yon gets this video out first, okay? This is
True.
going to age really well.
That's right. So now the race is on. Let's go. Let's get out of here and edit.
We better Young out of here, guys.
What's up, Sam? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing, man. I just love CD Projekt Red so much. I wish there was something I could do on the internet to show how much I love them, like a fan page or something.
Oh, it's funny you say that, Sam. Maybe
Is
you
it?
want to set up a CD Projekt Red appreciation/worship blog using Squarespace. Squarespace provide tools that make it super easy to set up professional-looking websites in just minutes.
What if I don't know how to use a computer? Can I still do it?
I mean, you need to know how to use the basics, like a mouse and keyboard, really.
Alright, fine.
But
I know
after
how to do that.
After that, you're okay. So look, if you want to go check it out yourself, it's very easy. Just click the link in the description below. You get 10% off your first purchase of a domain. That's on us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
That's on the Laymen.
Of course.
CD Projekt Red good. Squarespace good.
Yes.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
See you later.
Hey!